Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled
Honorable Bua, can I have people in? Commissioners, can I have people in?
Right Honorable Speaker,
Yes, please go ahead.
I beg to move that the bill entitled the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024 be read the second time. I beg to move.
Seconded? Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Chairman of Education, Government Chief Whip, Shadow Minister of Education, Kelly, Dorcas, Anifa, Mbwa, Connie, Emmanuel, Honorable Lanyo, Professor Sanoni Abeja, and Phyllis, Akielo, Okwiri, Tony, by the whole house. Would you love to speak to your motion? Please speak to it. What are the objects?
Right Honorable Speaker, the purpose of amending the Highest Education Students Financing Act 2024 is to mainstream Act 2 of 2014 is to mainstream the function of the Higher Education Students Financing Board that was established under the Act into the ministry responsible for education. The amendment abolishes the Higher Education Students Financing Board and transfers the function of the board to the ministry responsible for education for effective management. Right Honorable Speaker, all the staff, the entire staff of the Higher Education Student Financing will be transferred with their roles and duties all under the Ministry of Education for effective management. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we hear a brief from the chair?
Madam Speaker and honorable members, I beg to present a report on the Committee on Education and Sports on the Higher Education Student Financing Amendment Bill 2024. Madam Speaker, I beg that I skip introduction, policy and principles and defects in the law. Briefly, Madam Speaker, the object of this bill, it has been also given, but methodology, we met and held discussion with the Minister of Education and Sports, the Higher Education Student Financing Board. We also reviewed the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995 as amended, the Higher Education Students Financing Act 2014, written memoranda from the Higher Education Student Financing Board. Madam Speaker, for the benefit of all the members, allow me briefly give a background of the Education Student Financing Board. The Education Student Financing Board is a scheme meant for Ugandan students seeking financial assistance to pursue a program of higher education in an accredited higher education institute or university by National Council for Education. The loan scheme covers tuition fees, functional fees, research expenses, aids and appliances for persons with disabilities. The loan beneficiary covers the component of accommodation and other requirements. Madam Speaker and honorable members, it's very important to note that Higher Education Student Financing Board currently support programs under science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in line with NDP 3 requirement that has placed emphasis on supporting science programs that are critical to national development, Persons with disabilities are eligible to pursue either science or humanities programs. In the written memoranda received from the Educational Student Financing Board, it was stated that currently, out of about 130,000 to 140,000 candidates that qualify for higher education annually, government sponsors 10,000 out of the above number under the government sponsorship scheme. That's direct entrance, totaling to only 7% of the eligible candidates. The rest of the 93% are meant to be privately sponsored, and only a fraction makes it to higher education institutions. C, government spends 120 billion on the 10,000 government-sponsored students, with an average government-sponsored student at a university budgeted at 18 million shillings per annum as one-off payment. The students' loan scheme employs a cost-sharing model where government spends an average of 4.5 million per student on beneficiaries' academic costs as students cater for their welfare costs. Madam Speaker, with a budget of approximately 4.5 billion for the new cohort, the students' loan scheme pays for at least 1,000 beneficiaries. With Uganda shillings 45 billion, the scheme could cater for 10,000 students. With the current budget of 120 billion, the scheme could support up to 40,000 students, which would translate to 30% of eligible candidates to higher education. Observation and justification of the committee. With reference to submission from the Higher Education Student Financing Board, the committee observed that mainstreaming the board under the ministry would not cure the existing structural and operational issues associated with the delivery of services. Instead, the mainstreaming of the board will lead to delayed decision-making, disbursing of loans, and loan recovery. B, the committee observed that the management of students' loan scheme requires managing a revolving fund channeled back to borrowers to make the scheme sustainable. The board envisages that it will be self-sustaining as long as it is effectively managed and supported by the government. C, the committee further observed that the bill states some of the defects in the existing law that the bill intends to cure, including establishment of certain number of agencies, institutional harmony, functional duplication, overlaps, and affordability. However, the committee observed that one of these defects applies to Higher Education Student Financing Act 2014. D, the committee notes that world over, most student financing models have established a specialized institution for the management of students' loan, given the unique nature of managing such schemes. In Africa, there are over 13 countries that are managing students' loan schemes under the semi-autonomous bodies, having moved away from the management of such schemes under the parent ministries, including Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Malawi, Zambia, Lesotho, Namibia, Swaziland, Botswana, and South Africa. E, the committee observed that, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, that the certificate of financial implication envisages the saving of 0.352 billion in financial year 2024-2025 and Uganda shillings 1.632 billion in medium term, against 1.636 billion that will be earned from income for loan recoveries and interest and protection fees expected to grow in the medium term. However, the certificate of financial implication is silent on the areas amounting to Uganda shillings 14.6 billion, which has not been raised by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development as passed in Supplementary Schedule 1, Financial Year 2023-24. On recommendations, Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee recommends that Higher Education Student Financing Board be maintained as a semi-autonomous body with a view of granting it a vote status in the medium term for it to effectively discharge its mandate. Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development fully funds Higher Education Student Financing Board in order for it to become self-sustaining and support more students to access higher education. Madam Speaker, the Committee on Education and Sports, in conclusion, recommend that the Higher Education Student Financing Board be maintained a simultaneous body, and in this case, the committee feels that the bill is not passed. Madam Speaker, and right honorable members, I beg to move. You allow me, Madam Speaker, while we are processing this, one of the members dissented from the views of the other.
I also want you, we've been having a harmonization meeting. You as the chair also report what we agreed in the harmonization meeting. We're still on the floor. Hold your call.
Madam Speaker, what I presented is the position of the committee.
Yes.
I'm aware that there was a harmonization meeting between the Minister of Education and the team as well in the House. In your presence, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, I was having lunch.
But yes, while Madam Speaker was having lunch, I was
not part of it.
I was with the government chief whip and the honorable minister. The position was, my honorable members, let me bring out what
Honorable members, listen.
Yeah, the position is what, whereas what is coming out of the committee is not to rationalize the board, to take the board, the scheme back into the ministry. That proposals can be considered whereby probably this money could be distributed to district quotas so that students can be admitted on district quotas. Madam Speaker, that's what I picked.
Honorable members, there is a minority report. We have not finished receiving reports. Minority is on a minority.
Madam Speaker, thank you for protecting that rule.
Yes.
My right, which is well enshrined in our rules of procedure. Honorable members, access to higher education should be accessible to all in your constituencies. And because of that, this body which has been dealing with this particular matter needs to be examined so that we can make decisions from an informed point of view. I have a minority report arising from my dissent from the majority on grounds that they want this body maintained, and I think government is right on rationalization, and we must rationalize this body.
Yes.
And my grounds are that the expenditure on this body is very wasteful. We are spending money on the NSSF taxes.
They call it a nugatory expenditure.
Yeah, so we are paying allowances for the board, which money we could have used to actually pay people in your constituencies. And you must be very careful when you are about to make that decision. Because if some of your poor people will go without higher education, we must be able to know that you are behind it. So there's wasteful expenditure you should be able to deal with.
Honorable Lee, continue.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, secondly...
He's reading the report.
Yeah, so there has not been equity in the way this scheme operates. If I ask...
Honorable Lee, the current LOP brought a report to this house, and he was quoting 4 or 5 people coming from Bukedea, whose names were from another region. There is no equity, because those people did not benefit from Bukedea.
So, Madam Speaker, thank you for that useful information. So today is an opportunity for us to balance the boat. If we can quote Honorable Cecilia Ogoel,
thank you.
We must be able to balance the boat and ensure this money actually serves people in our areas. If we are to produce scientists, some scientists must not only come from Kampala or from a particular region, have a balanced development. So to align this scheme.
No, I told him.
I only have one
I told him to
I don't have
summarize.
a lot of exactly.
No, I told him to summarize.
I'm making a summary
I
so
told
that
him
you
to
can
summarize.
understand. You pick the main points. So on the basis of equity and affirmative action, which is enshrined in our constitution, we must be able to make this scheme work for our country, and that
Thank
requires
you.
nationalizing. Madam Speaker, lastly, because I need to bring out the
Honorable member, stop
Madam-
saying the
Madam
man is a
Speaker.
machinery.
Madam Speaker, the
man
scheme.
is,
The scheme as run by the board now disenfranchises a number of communities without access to electricity and internet connectivity, because the board requires that you apply online and they have their systems and many
Honorable
constituencies.
members, this scheme you must apply online and it's very correct.
Exactly. So the infrastructure to achieve all this is largely missing in many parts where we come from, and because of that, we are missing out on benefiting. We are missing out on benefiting from the scheme under the current arrangement. So, Madam Speaker, I therefore propose. I propose that there must be rationalization.
Yes.
Two, the resources which have been under the management of this board must be channeled to the district quota system, where all of us will benefit. Only then will you guarantee benefit for your children if you buy into my proposal. Madam Speaker, under the current system, under the current district quota system, it is the local governments that identify and select the beneficiaries. And working with the ministry, I'm very sure we would be able to.
Honorable members, order in the house. Honorable members, can we have some order? Can we have order?
So my proposal is that we must charge local governments working with the ministries to identify beneficiaries. And the local governments are already doing this in managing a number of programs for government. We have the Women Entrepreneurs Fund, the Youth Livelihood. They have been involved in recovery, so they have an experience. At least that will guarantee that we all benefit from this scheme. And that is a matter, Madam Speaker, which requires attention. I also believe if we adopt my proposal, we will be able to make government visible. For those of you who are in NRM, you want to make your government look like it is working. And because of that, and because of that, we want to be able to see the children benefiting. I want to know in my village who has benefited from this scheme. And we cannot reserve this body which is centrally, and even, Madam Speaker, in recovering this loan, a body which is in the center here, how will they go recover money from my village? It is easier for the district people for us to work locally there to recover this money than centralizing a body here for recovery purposes. Therefore, I move the House in view of the liabilities, arrears, which government has not even paid, amounting to 14.6 billion, which points to the fact that we don't have enough money. The money we have must be able to go into achieving objectives of this scheme. And that requires we rationalize this body. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House adopts my minority report and we rationalize the body. Thank you.
Honorable members, there is a procedural matter from Honorable Shaggy. Honorable Shaggy, you can. It's also on procedure.
Thank you.
Chair, you go and stand and talk from there.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. We are here in the House deliberating for rationalization, which reasons we already got to avoid duplication to avoid wastage of resources. Now, when we talk of the scheme, we're already crying. The scheme is supposed to be an equalizer. There are people who are taking their children to very powerful schools, which charge a lot of money. And those ones pass highly and qualify for government sponsorship. Now, those who take children where they charge little fees,
Like Amos College.
Amos College, yes, like Amos College, end up not getting high points to qualify for government sponsorship. Therefore, the rich end up taking to the powerful, very expensive schools where they charge 4 million per term. At the end of the day, they perform highly and go to university under government sponsorship. Now, the poor who take to schools where they pay 300,000, 900,000, much as they are very capable, are not prepared to pass as high as the other ones. Now, at the end of the day, they are the ones who are supposed to go on private sponsorship. And yet the rich have gone on government sponsorship. So, you find we are not balancing the board. It would have even been the other way around. We allocate very little money for the loan scheme. On top of that, most of the money is spent for management, administration, for these people in the air-conditioned offices and driving vehicles, which can be done by others. Therefore, it's a procedural matter. Now, since you don't want a procedural matter, can I now thank the people who authored in a minority report for having been very, 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 very patriotic. You could have even added there that we even remove the money which is sponsoring some as government sponsorship and add it to the scheme. So that if you are rich, you go and pay fees at university, you have the money. So that one who's poor goes and borrows the money to go to the university. I salute you, the minority. I beg to move. But I conclude by saying, Right Honorable and colleagues, if we can't rationalize this one, then we don't need to rationalize any institution. This should be the first to be rationalized. I beg to move.
It is a procedural matter.
Madam Speaker, I seek for your indulgence. First of all, let me make records clear. Maracha district has 54 students on loan scheme. Secondly, Madam Speaker, when we passed this act as Parliament, the challenges were not on the bill or the act. It is on government's commitment. First of all, the act states that beneficiaries, those who go for these loan schemes, there can be those for arts subjects, humanities, and sciences. But because the government never had the money, they opted for only scientists. They took them. Secondly, Madam Speaker, when we talk about this loan scheme, we also look at our neighboring countries. Whenever you talk about costs and expenses, it will be the same in the ministry. And I want to seek for indulgence, Madam Speaker. Can the chair of the committee negotiate on behalf of the members who passed the report? It cannot happen. Because we sat as a committee, we have been moving with this issue of the loan scheme up to the time when we sat as a committee and agreed. And indeed, the honour member for the minority report, I'm the one who invited him to cite in the report. Madam Speaker, I seek for your indulgence, honourable members. The loan scheme, its interests and intentions, as a law we passed, was asking all sponsorship of government. Madam Speaker, now I'm on procedure, honourable members. And the Speaker has allowed me. Madam Speaker.
Honourable members. Omusomesa Omukatuleke, all your issues were covered in the report as a member of the committee. Yes, Jonathan.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Oguzuli has ably persuaded me. Now, given the current scheme as it is, it benefits only the children of the rich as opposed to the poor. Because they ask you to apply, you have to apply on net, and then the children who pass very well in the primary schools, they go to the best schools in the country, and then those are the ones who are considered to get this loan. Therefore, the children who are from Arapa in Soroti, who are from Agora in Soroti, very few of them benefit from this scheme. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, if we are talking about equity, I would rather request that we give more funding to this scheme and then take it back to its quota system so that all the children benefit from wherever they are in the villages. Finally, we want to request the committee that you lay on table here in Parliament the beneficiaries, the children who have benefited from this district by district. You tell me in Soroti district how many have benefited. From Maracha district how many have benefited. Otherwise, the current system only benefits the children of the rich. I am here to support the minority report. Thank you very much.
Francis, then Rose.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, listening to the proposals by Honorable Guzli, I realize that his proposal is pro-poor, pro-people, more effective, and more transparent. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, some of us don't even know how this scheme has been operating. People come to you and ask you, we want to be part of this quota. And you look for it, you don't get it. Their own scheme, a member of parliament cannot trace it. You know, it is very difficult to find, especially us who come from local districts. So I want to suggest that we go by this approach because it is more transparent and effective. I want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my brother Lee and all of you.
Honorable Guzli.
Honorable Oguzuli. Today, you have joined me to swim in the waters of the rural people. We are so happy because this scheme, a district like Terego, without computers, without electricity, honestly, you are to apply online, Right Honorable Speaker, and you pay 50,000. If you are saying it's a scheme to help the vulnerable, again, you're asking for 50,000 for what? And after applying, you don't even get a response. You go to apply in a computer center, and you go back home, you don't know what happens. Shortlists are done without your name. I beg we go by the quota system so that my rural team are able to get a share in Terego. Thank you so much.
There is a motion. Motion. Motion by Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
I have carefully, yes, Honorable.
Honorable members, listen to Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Having carefully listened to the mood and the deliberations that are being put on the floor, I want to propose that I move a motion that we stop debate and move on to the next stage. I move.
Is the motion seconded? Those who are seconding, stand up. Solomon, Sanoni, Alani, Rosie, Jane, Sylvia, Government Chief Whip, by the hollow side.
them support. They only wanted to talk.
Yes. Honorable members,
We only wanted to talk further.
virtually, we have 126 members. I mean physically 126 and 70 virtually. We have the quorum. I put the question that the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Higher Education Students Financing Amendment
not
Bill
seeing the-
2024, Bills Committee stage.
No, you see, the biggest problem is one. We discussed this scheme at length and made recommendations, some of which are those recommendations that are coming now, that we go into the district, the loan scheme to go back to the quota system. However, the problem comes that
Start.
without science and mathematics, schools in science, they will get
Students, not schools.
Honorable members,
Clause 1.
honorable members, first of all, I want to, it is the first time I'm seeing a minority report take the day. And
Your cup until you are in committee state.
now the minister is going to come and make a commitment.
Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Honorable Goli, I'm going to send you for out. Stop making noise.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill.
Madam Chair. Yeah, we are moving to dissolve the board under clause 4. I am very particular about this money being able to benefit our constituencies. So when we replace the board with the ministry, what guarantee do we have that this money will go? Because we need such a commitment, they need to guide us on how they will achieve that before we could move.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, I think what he was saying, we all agreed with the majority report. But for us, would like to add.
Minority. You agree with the minority report?
We agree with the minority report. But to bring out what my brother here says, I think the word, inserting somewhere the word quota, district quota system has got to be inside or part of the regulations
As a new clause.
as a new clause.
Is that agreeable with the...
Yeah, Madam
Just a
Chair, I want to
minute,
be on
just
record.
a minute, just a minute. Honorable Oguzile, a new clause. Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm not in agreement with the minority report because it has not been read on the record of Parliament. It is not on the record of Parliament, and I want to be specific on that. The minority report, he has given a summary of his own words, but it's not on the record of Parliament.
It is there,
It
it's
isn't.
uploaded. It is uploaded. Go ahead,
Procedure, Chair.
go ahead.
Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, earlier on in the morning, the Shadow Attorney General had guided us on how to proceed with this bill because we are going to, it's more of repealing them. But now if we are amending again, I'm getting now mixed up because he had guided well that if we are moving the responsibilities to the ministry, there is no more need of amending here. Those will be taken care of at appropriate time. So, is it procedure right for the Honorable Ongusuli to start amending? Yet we are not amending, we are repealing. You see, this is the confusion that has been caused by this rationalization. So, is he proceeding well by doing what's contrary to what has been said in the morning? Honorable Omara, you are not a chairperson. Not even a minister. Not even a shadow minister. So please, hold on.
Can we bring a motion? Honorable members, Honorable Elijah raises a pertinent issue. Can we hear from the shadow through your boss?
And now you've got me off guard.
We want the quota system, but
Now, if we want a quota system, under which legal regime does it come? Maybe if the minister, if
Constitution, equity.
If the minister comes and undertakes to bring regulations and
Equity.
under
Constitutional.
under the Education Act,
Yes.
within a specific time frame for approval of Parliament.
This act is repealed.
Because to me, that would be the win-win situation.
Yes.
That under the Education Act comes up with a statutory instrument, but to be ready for approval of Parliament.
Yes.
Right Honourable Speaker and dear colleagues, first as government we accept, we agree with the position that when we go to develop the guidelines, we have to emphasize the issue of district quota system. The quota system has been working before, but for
The money will be added.
and this one is also going to be added so that when money is appropriated, each and every district will have to benefit.
Honorable member, I move that we should, the amendment should read like this. That, okay.
Honorable Guzole, what they are going to come up with is the regulation to that effect. There is no amendment on this law.
Madam Chair.
Let Jonah.
The proposal is that at the commencement of this under this shall be dissolved and the scheme operated by the ministry under the district water system. That's the proposal.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Jonah.
Yes. Madam Chair, now that the minister seems to be in agreement with the proposal by Honorable Lee.
You leave the Minister of Justice to speak.
In as far as a provision providing for district water system.
Clause 4.
Yes. If you look at, there are two areas in the law. First, I want to answer the concerns. This law is both a repealing law and an amendment law. So it's doing both. It's repealing some sections, but
and
also doing
amending others.
So it is amending sections of the Principal Act. So it is possible for an amendment to come if it's acceptable by the mover. So under Section 20, we have eligibility into the scheme. And in subsection 2, it says, in determining the eligibility into the scheme, now the board will be replaced. The minister shall take into consideration the following. A, they have listed regional balance. We can either replace regional balance by district, or, of course, gender is there, others are there. Yes, so I would now want to invite the minister that maybe when we reach, if you are in agreement that the quota system has to come, then under Section 20, when we reach there, we, under the regional balance.
Honorable members, can we have some order? You refresh the amendment on 4.
No, when we reach at 20.
Okay, but 4 has something also.
I would like to amend that Clause 4 reads like this. On commencement of this Act, the Higher Education Students Financing Board established under the Act of 224 shall be dissolved, and the scheme operated by the ministry under the district quota system.
Yes.
I beg to move.
Madam Chair, my understanding of the guidance by the Shadow Attorney General. No. My understanding of the guidance of the Shadow Attorney General was that we could come up with, I would like Madam Speaker to get your attention, that we could come up with guidelines under a different legal regime. That is the Education Act, not this one.
Even under 20 here, what Honorable Duras just said.
In other words, I'm not agreeing.
The eligibility into the scheme, the regulations would come under this clause.
And I'm disagreeing with him. I'm taking the opinion.
But this is still provided under the Education Act, even in the Constitution on equity.
We might lose the principle, the objective of the bill for this rationalization if we go into amending this particular.
No, we can't amend this.
So, let me finish. You may disagree with me, but let me finish my point. I think the Shadow Attorney General had guided very well. And what the minister should concede is the guidelines under the Education Act, but not to amend this bill for rationalization. You might be shooting your own bill if you accept amendment now.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam, Madam Chair, you're listening to two lawyers giving you two different opinions. What the Shadow Attorney General has provided, he has guided that we need a principal act under which we shall anchor the requirement for regulations to be made by the minister.
And this is the
what Honorable Odur has presented is that
Honorable Anne, the Principal Act is under Section 20, where Honorable Odur has said the regulation should come from. So they are speaking the same thing. All what they are saying is coming from the Principal Act. And I have the Principal Act here.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are all, we don't seem to be on the same page. Yet we all went to law school and probably studied the same things. I would advise that you hear from your legal counsel, in-house legal counsel, to guide, because what Honorable Odur is providing seems to be different from what Honorable Niwagawa is providing.
Honorable.
And if we are repealing and deleting and moving the functions of HFS, the financing
Honorable
board,
Anne,
it ceases to exist.
Honorable Anne, what have you understood from the two? What have you understood from the two?
Madam, yes, information.
I want Anne to tell me what she has understood from the two.
No, I concur with her view. That's why I want to give information.
You see, in the spirit of it, we seem to all be agreeing, in agreement, that the quota system, we should move the money to the quota system.
Yes.
But to get the minister to promise and legally to anchor the regulations.
On regulations.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that there should actually be an amendment of the Principal Act where we shall give the minister the duty.
And I want to refer you to the Principal Act, Section 20, on eligibility into the scheme. 1, the scheme is only for Ugandan students seeking financial assistance to pursue accredited courses, to study or programs of higher education in accredited institutions in a higher learning recognized by National Council of Higher Education. 2, in determining the eligibility into the scheme, the board shall take in consideration the following. First, listen. The board shall take in consideration the following. The problem, Brenda, what? The board shall consider the following. 1, regional balance. 2, gender. 3, socio-economic needs. And 4, equity. And that's where Honorable Odur said the regulations should be drawn from that. And the same thing that the Shadow Attorney General was mentioning. The problem, Anna, you're only having the bill. You don't have the Principal Act.
Emphasize my point. My point on clause 4, 1 seeks to have the board dissolved and places responsibility with the ministry, but also ring fences the issue of the district quota as agreed to by the minister. So that's why I am moving that at the commencement of the act.
The regulation will come from there.
at the commencement of this act, the Higher Education Students Financing Board established under Act 2 of 2014 shall be dissolved, and the scheme shall be operated by the Ministry of Education under the district quota system. So that places the responsibility with the ministry, but ring fences the issue of quota system. Only then can we guarantee that all of us will benefit from this scheme. Otherwise, if you do not ring fence that, I'm worried we will lose the point.
Honorable Dur.
The regulations would be for
Honorable
the finer details.
Honorable Dur.
Madam Speaker, for clarification, I have taken into consideration the
Honorable members, let's listen.
The popular view by Honorable Lee that there must be a district quota system that should allow all the districts. That's why I went to section 20. And I said when we reach section 20, we need then to to amend the principal law and replace regional balance by district.
Quota.
Then when we reach section 41, the minister is given powers to make regulations over several matters. So under 41, we again add that the minister has powers to make regulations onto the district quota system under section 41.
Yes. That should be 20 and 41.
Yes.
Clause 4. Professor, please first sit. You'll give me a clarification when we reach 20. On the same clause. You. Honorable members, let's hear what the professor has to say.
Madam Speaker, in the morning, we agreed that once I want the attention of the Speaker. Madam Speaker, thank you for your attention. In the morning, we agreed once these bills have been accepted to and become acts, we shall need a miscellaneous legislation. Let me finish. You can disagree with me. And we shall do away with these laws.
The repealed bills, not all.
Now, if we amend the Principal Act in a law that we are likely to do away with in miscellaneous,
this is an amendment bill, not a repeal bill, Professor.
No. I also studied law, and we are here as legislators. Listen to me. So, Madam Speaker, what will happen?
There is an order. There is an order.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Is it in order for the Professor of Political Science to insist on making arguments on matters of law, based on political science, when you have already made a ruling? Is the professor in order?
Honorable members, honorable members, If you're going to continue making a noise, I will send you out. Honorable members, those are all humanities. But not all this is being repealed. Some are amendments. It's just a matter of, and I had somebody, by the way, where is Honorable Tebandeke? He has gone to school. I had somebody saying these lawyers are disturbing us. That's the benefit of being learned. Clause 4.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I put a question that clause 5 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I put a question that clause 6 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. Ayes have it.
Clause 7.
I put a question that clause 7 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I put a question that clause 8 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I put a question that clause 9 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
I put a question that clause 10 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I put a question that clause 11
Madam Chair, on clause 11, in the spirit of the agreement we have had, clause 11 in the principle, clause 11 seeks to amend section 5. Seeks to amend section 5 of the Principal Act, and it will give the minister powers that are listed. In part E, 1E, one of the powers is that the minister shall determine the number of eligible students to benefit from the scheme. And this is where we can first have the first opportunity to mention the district quarter. Yes, so we could amend, and the minister should follow. If you have the Principal Act, E. So I want to insert in E that to determine the number of eligible students to benefit from the scheme based on the district quarter system. And then we can build it.
Yes. Yes. Is that okay with the minister?
It's okay, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, you are aware that
You have just come.
Madam Chair, I've been doing work
where
for,
have
we
you
have been in
been?
committee doing work. Madam Chair, you are aware that some districts are very big and large. And I am the one who proposed this quarter when I was youth MP here. And therefore, Madam Chair, I would like to propose amendment that instead of district quarter, let us have constituency quarter so that we as the MPs can regulate and manage.
Honorable members, constituencies are not administrative units. I put a question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 11 as amended.
I put a question that clause 11 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Clause 12, I put a question that clause 12 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
I put a question that clause 13 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
I put a question that clause 14 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. Ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I put a question that clause 15 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
I put a question that clause 16 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
I put a question at clause 17 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 20.
18.
Clause 18.
I put a question that clause 18 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 19.
I put a question that clause 19 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 20.
Clause 20.
Madam Chair, in clause 20, I propose an amendment to substitute for paragraph 2A in the Principal Act to read as 2A, district quarter.
Is that okay?
Madam Speaker, we agree. We substitute with district quota system.
Okay. I put a question that clause 20 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 20 as amended.
I put a question that clause 20 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I put a question that clause 21 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
I put a question that clause 22 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
I put a question that clause 23 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 24.
I put a question that clause 24 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 25.
I put a question that clause 25 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 26.
Honorable members, I get so irritated, too irritated, when we are in a very serious business and people are having cocoons, talking. Please, members, let's finish this. We have a very important bill coming up. Next.
Clause 26.
I put a question that clause 26 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 27.
I put a question that clause 27 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
I put a question that clause 28 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 29.
I put a question that clause 29 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 30.
I put a question that clause 30 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
I put a question that clause 31 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 32.
I put a question that clause 32 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 33.
I put a question that clause 33 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 34.
I put a question that clause 34 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 35.
I put a question that clause 35 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 36.
I put a question that clause 36 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 37.
I put a question that clause 37 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 38.
I put a question that clause 38 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 39.
I put a question that clause 39 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 40.
Clause 40.
It's okay? No, no amendment.
I put a question that clause 40 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 41.
Clause 41. I put a question that clause 41 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 42.
I put a question that clause 42 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
Title. I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
What? Honorable Minister.
Madam Chairperson, I beg to move that the House do resume and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto.
I put a question that the House does resume and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say aye and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the bill entitled the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024 and pass it with amendments. I beg to report.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the report from the Committee of the whole House be adopted. I beg to move.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the whole House be adopted by this Honorable House. Those in favor say aye and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Bill's third reading. The Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024 be read the third time and do pass. I beg to move.
Thank you. I put a question that the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Bill 2024 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Higher Education Students Financing Amendment Act 2024.
Title settled and the bill passed. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank you for your indulgence. However, I want to put on record the way we have passed this bill. I don't agree with it because the win of that day, the mover of the Madam Speaker has given a procedural matter. Did not attend the Committee of Parliament Generated Minority Report, and the records are very clear and the rules are clear. Because how did he generate a dissenting view when he never attended the committee where we sat? The Onguziri man here. So I wanted to put that on record because it can attract legal issues. Thank you.
Honorable members, Honorable Guzuli is a member of the committee. Not so. And he has a right to bring a minority report under Rule 205. He has powers and he can bring a minority report. It is just unfortunate. It is just unfortunate that the majority report has not taken the day. And it is only his minority report that has taken the day. I want to congratulate you, Honorable Guzuli.
To set the record clear, because what he said has ramifications for me. Madam Speaker, the record of attendance is a book where we sign, and if that book is changed checked when this matter was considered, I was there. I even took pictures when I was in that meeting. So yeah, because I have the evidence here. So he's just aggrieved because they have lost, but we don't need numbers on the truth. We only need to stand with the people of Uganda. I thank you, and that's what I've been pursuing.
Honorable members, can we go to the next bill?
Bill second.
Next bill. The next bill.
Bill
Item.
second reading. The National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable members, we are on the what? National Forestry. Honorable Minister, where is the chair? Move a motion.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the National Forest and Tree Planting Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Beg to move.
Seconded. Seconded by Isaac, Edie, Achayo, Dr. Ruyonga, Achibu, Linda, Menya, Mohammed, Moma, Alan, Agoti, Shadow Minister, Government Chief Whip, Minister of Trade, by all the ministers and the knowers. Yes, Honorable Minister, can you speak to your motion? Give us the objectives.
Right Honorable Speaker, the bill intends to dissolve the National Forest Authority.
Honorable members, I want you to listen.
And transfer its functions into the Ministry of Water and Environment. This will save the administrative cost and increase efficiency in the operations. Right Honorable Speaker, we have challenges with disparity in the salary structures that has also affected our operations. With this bill being passed, it will help us as government to harmonize this position, and the demotivated public servants who are in the ministry can respond swiftly to the calls where they're supposed to work. Right Honorable Speaker, as you are aware that when the NFA comes into the ministry, it will enable government to fast-track all interventions and particularly enable the minister to come directly and report always, as you, honorable members, this House has always demanded, and this will be much better because of the saved money which will go in the loopholes where we don't have enforcement in place enough. This will help us. So, honorable colleagues, I beg that you support the bill.
Honorable members, I don't know which language is being spoken here. Can we now hear from the chair of the committee? What is the position of the committee?
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Just give us the observations and make the conclusion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. Before I go to the observations and recommendations, I beg to lay on table.
Yes, a procedural matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is it really in order? Yes, I will come. Oh, why don't you listen? Anyway, is it procedurally right? Thank you so much. For us to process government bills when the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, they are not with us here? What if now they write to the President and advise that what we have done here is not right, and then the bills are sent back? Kindly guide, Madam Speaker.
We have a number of land brains here. But what Honorable Enos is raising is pertinent. It is not correct. We have Attorney General, we have a Minister of Constitutional Affairs, we have Deputy Attorney General, but they are not here to support us. Attorney General is out of the country to defend some position of the country. That one he got permission from me. And the Deputy Attorney General, while he was here, was called, we were called for a meeting, including me. And I said, for me, I am still here, you can go. So, but next time, we will need to have one of them in the house. Please. But we have the shadow.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your guidance to the House. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to lay on table a copy of the report of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on the National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024 and the accompanying minutes of the proceedings. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me also to lay on table a letter that I received today. It is addressed to you and copied to me. And since it touches on this matter, I felt that I need to bring it to the attention of this House. It is a letter that is against the mainstreaming of NFA.
But how do you read a letter which is written to me?
It's copied to me. I just said it's copied.
You just copied. Don't take action on it. You read your report. How did you smuggle my letter out? Because I know anyway it stays in the border.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I will
with the
proceed.
report.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, as you are all aware, the National Forest and Tree Planting Amendment Bill was read for the first time on the 9th of April 2024 and referred to the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources for scrutiny. The committee has scrutinized the bill in accordance with Rule 189, Sub-Rule C, and now we report. The background of the bill is that government has over time realized a proliferation of government agencies through acts of parliament, executive orders, and administrative arrangements. And the bill recognizes that this proliferation of agencies has led to overlap in mandates and uncertainties regarding jurisdictions and high administrative costs. But also recognizing that in agencies,
There's
they
the
are better
Honorable
paid.
Minister hiding. She's not used to being on the front bench. Come and sit near here. Mugole. Come.
Honorable Liliana Bair, congratulations for rising to the...
Is it part of the report?
Right Honorable Speaker, it is only courteous that we are courteous to each other, that when someone has achieved, we all celebrate together.
Honorable Lillian, congratulations. And thank you for moving from up there to down here. And I want to congratulate you and thank God for everything.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, as I want to state very, very clearly that the object of this bill is to dissolve the NFA, and I want to underscore that word dissolve, the NFA, and transfer its functions into the ministry responsible for environment to give effect to the government policy on rationalization of government agencies. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to underscore, before I go to findings, one core function of the NFA, namely to develop and manage all central forest reserves. And I want to state clearly that NFA has been managing only central forest reserves as opposed to district forest reserves that fall under the purview of the Ministry of Water and Environment. Now, allow me to go to our committee analysis, observations, and recommendations. This part of the report examines the proposed clauses in each part of the bill, their constitutionality, and relevance in light of existing laws and policy on rationalization and the mischief they intended to cure. The examination is structured around thematic areas outlined in the bill. And one thematic area is the alleged overlap in mandate between NFA mandate and those of the district forestry services. The committee noted that in 1998, government took a decision to transform the forestry department into two institutions, that is National Forestry Authority and the District Forestry Services, with the aim of strengthening, streamlining, and increasing efficiency in the management of forests in the country. The committee observed that whereas the mandate of NFA is to manage the 506 central forest reserves, covering an area of 1.265 million hectares, which accounts for only 26% of the total forest cover in Uganda, that of the district forest services under the purview of the ministry is to manage 196 local forest reserves covering 5,000 hectares, that is only a paltry 0.02% of the total forest cover, and providing forestry extension services and oversight on 48% of forestry cover existing in private land. So you find that most of the forests are actually private land, private forests rather. These two mandates do not overlap at implementation, and therefore there was no evidence adduced to show that the ministry responsible for the environment shall satisfactorily implement the mandate of NFA upon rationalization. The committee noted that most of the district forest reserves that were under the purview of the Ministry of Water and Environment are no longer in existence, whereas the central forest reserves under the National Forest Authority are in existence across the country, although some have been encroached upon. 2, financial sustainability vis-à-vis the need to relieve government of financial drain. The committee noted that NFA has positioned itself to mobilize its own resources for forestry management and with minimal support from government. The institution can be self-sustaining in the medium term. The institution's non-tax revenue has been increasing over the years, as you can see in the narrative there, but also in the next table, moving from 9.521 in 2019, that is 9.521 billion, to 10.411 billion in 2019-2020, to 9.271 in 2020-2021, to 12.106 billion in 2021-2022, to 14.018 billion in 2022-2023. That shows an upward trend, and it shows that NFA, once strengthened, will be able to generate more revenue for the country. The committee therefore noted that with the improved institutional image, ability to attract funding from development partners, the institution can generate its own NTR and be self-sustaining in the near future. The committee noted the following are some of the strategies NFA has developed to increase its NTR. 1, NFA intends to invest more in forest plantations. 2, NFA intends to start investment in ecotourism. 3, NFA intends to support and manage tree farmers and planters in central forest reserves. 4, NFA intends to improve on its ability to attract external funding from development partners. The next table shows you the kind of relationship that NFA has established with those international agencies that are donating. And I want to quickly remind ourselves that some of these donors are very hesitant to give money directly to government, but they would prefer to give an agency established like this one. Now, finally, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, allow me to tackle just why my committee felt that NFA must not be mainstreamed or dissolved as proposed by the bill. And the first point is NFA's uniqueness in addressing climate change and its impact. The committee noted that the world is currently grappling with the challenges posed by climate change. It is a known fact that one of the most effective ways of removing carbon from the atmosphere is through afforestation, reforestation, and improving forest management and conservation. Many countries are strengthening forestry management by establishing semi-autonomous institutions such as the NFA. In the East African region, Uganda was the first to establish a forestry authority. Kenya and Tanzania made several benchmarking visits to Uganda and established their own same autonomous forestry service agencies in 2007 and 2011, respectively. The committee noted that as the world takes steps to trade in carbon under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement, Uganda has also, through NFA, developed capacity to undertake monitoring, reporting, and verification of carbon, and Uganda's emissions are projected to reach 143 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions from 115 metric tons in 2023 and 236.4 metric tons by 2050 if nothing is done. That is, if we just leave business as usual, that is going to be the upward trend of carbon dioxide emission. And all of us in the most recent past, you saw the enormous effects of carbon dioxide emission into our environment, contributing to climate change. To mitigate these emissions, NFA intends to implement mitigation actions to reduce emissions. When all the planned and intended mitigation actions have been implemented, Uganda's emission will begin to reduce, and it will reduce by 24.2% by 2030. And this reduction will come from forestry. NFA has lined up mitigation actions to reduce emissions by 2030 to 108 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. And these are the mitigation actions that they have already lined up. Climate smart agriculture, sustainable fuel wood and commercial charcoal production, large-scale commercial timber plantations, restoration of natural forests in the landscape. Now, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, in the morning when I presented on metrology, I was charged with a responsibility of making a cost-benefit analysis quantitatively, although at that time I made a qualitative analysis. Now I give here a quantitative cost-benefit analysis of the decision of mainstreaming NFA. The committee noted that there may not necessarily be significant economic gains in the short and medium term arising out of mainstreaming NFA into the ministry. That whereas mainstreaming NFA will eliminate the board of directors costs and some members of senior management, these costs are relatively very small in comparison to the overall cost of sustainably managing and developing developing central forest reserves. There will also be severance costs for the existing staff, hence no substantial cost saving. Further to this, the cost-benefit analysis was done before government enhanced the salaries of scientists. The committee noted that mainstreaming costs will be higher under the ministry because over 80% of the NFA staff are scientists and are currently earning salaries under the scientist scale. The committee therefore observed that the current staffing level of 364 contract personnel, the annual wage bill of 8.264 billion, compared to what NFA is doing, is not so significant. The board and the committee's annual budget is only a paltry 362 million Ugandan shillings. The total annual budget for remuneration of contract staff and board of directors is only 8.626 billion. If the current staff are paid under the salary scale for scientists, all foresters, of course, are scientists, the expected wage will be 11.181 when NFA mandate is taken to the ministry. So it will be moving up 11.18 from 8.6. This excludes the salary of the 9 scientist staff. The total number of current staff in approved positions is 364, with a total annual wage bill of 8.264 billion. The other point why my committee recommends for NFA to stay is the impact of mainstreaming on forest cover in the country. As I said, the district forest covers that are under the ministry are no more. Most of you may realize that maybe when you were growing up, you had forests within your localities. These are no more. Now, the committee noted that the mainstreaming and the transitional period,
Honorable members, listen to the report and you make a decision based on what you're hearing and what you see out there.
Thank you, Right Honorable, for your guidance. The committee noted that the mainstreaming and the transitional period they are under is likely to pose a threat to forestry cover in this country, which NFA has tried to keep at bay over the years. Right Honorable Speaker, our greatest worry is that the ministry that has failed to protect district forest reserves.
Honorable members, listen.
How will it come now to protect the central forest reserves that are under NFA? It will result in increased deforestation if we mainstream NFA to the ministry and forest degradation. NFA has managed to keep at bay the numerous land grabbers who, in a number of instances, apply for court injunctions to enable them take over forest reserves for personal gains. Right Honorable Speaker, may I let the House know that about 120 illegal titles created in forest reserves were cancelled in 2019. And the process to cancel additional 400 illegal titles in the central forest reserves is ongoing. There is a high risk that this process will be jeopardized with mainstreaming the authority to the ministry without a clear mechanism of protecting central forest reserves. I submit. 3, reduced investment in plantation development. There is a general feeling of uncertainty among the commercial tree farmers that mainstreaming NFA to the ministry may expose their plantations to risk of land grabbers, encroachment, and theft of the assets as a result of reduced protection. These investors may therefore lose confidence in investment in the investment climate, leading to reduction in forest cover. NFA is still resolving the many cases of land grabbing in the central forest reserves. In 2017, government lifted the ban on licensing new investment in central forest reserves, and NFA made new offers for over 40,000 hectares. The authority is still sorting out the encroachment problem and licensing new investments. Sensitization of encroachers and local leaders has been done in many areas, and this process is ongoing. 4, loss of employment opportunities. NFA currently employs 364 full-time contract staff who are paid salaries through the government payroll. In addition, NFA has engaged services of about 400 patrolmen from the communities neighboring the Central Forest Reserves who are paid monthly patrol allowances. And I want to say that most of the work of NFA, you find that they do them in very odd hours. Even at night, they capture people who are encroaching on forests. We don't have... There is likelihood that some of this staff
Honorable
will
members,
lose
honorable
employment.
members, honorable members, honorable members.
They will die with Zoka.
Can you leave the chair to finish?
Chair.
You are finished. Leave the chair to finish, and you make a decision.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for guiding the House. As I come to the end, I was saying that there is a likelihood that some of the staff who have been patrolling these forests will lose employment with the restructuring and mainstreaming. This will result in loss of livelihood and may cause social disruptions, because they are not a small number. My committee therefore recommends as follows: that the National Forest Authority be retained as a semi-autonomous entity and not be mainstreamed into the ministry responsible for environment as proposed in the bill. 2, that the ministry responsible for environment should stick to its core mandate of policy formulation, establishment of standards, resource mobilization, offering support supervision, and to allow NFA to do its mandate of managing and conserving forest cover in the country. 3, that government should empower NFA to fully execute its mandate to sustainably manage Central Forest Reserves and to enable it oversee over 150,000 hectares of private forests and also spearhead the recovery of the country's forest cover, which has increased since 2015. And 4, that the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act of 2003 be amended to mandate the NFA to manage the district forest reserves, if at all there are any still left. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I wish to inform the House that the committee recognizes the NTR NFA is generating currently and the potential of the National Forest Authority to generate even more revenue for the country, as well as its immense contribution in mitigating the effects of climate change. The committee is therefore constrained to agree with the principles of rationalizing NFA to the ministry as proposed in the bill. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable members, I get scared when people stand. They can jump on me. You've heard the report. You know the forests that we are talking about. You know what is around. And I am going to give a limited debate. And in that limited debate, I will first want to know which people are in for rationalization, for NFA, for who are those who want NFA to be abolished? abolishing the NFA to rationalize. Okay, honorable members, which members are in for mainstreaming, taking NFA from where it is to a department of water. Who are those who want NFA to be taken away? Taken away and put into the ministry. Honorable members, I want you to listen. The motion that is here is about mainstreaming NFA. And in the mainstreaming, you are going to take NFA to the Ministry of Environment to be a department. To be a department. Is the question understood? Yes. Who are those who want it to go into the ministry?
Procedure.
Honorable members, all I want is your hand.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
And I want a hand. Honorable members, you sit.
Why no procedure? There are no procedure.
Honorable members, I only want your hand up.
No, Madam.
I don't want your body up, I want your hand up. Do you want me to repeat it?
Go away with procedure. We are already marching.
And
Hey.
honorable members, listen. Honorable members, if you are an ex-officials, don't put up your hands. Honorable members.
Order.
Let me first get the feeling. I'll put a question. I also want my position. Me, I'm not for the position. How can you allow Lani to go? Honorable members, when you continue making noise, now who are those who want to maintain the National Forest Authority? Yes. Now, let's go into a debate. Let's go into a debate. And the question that I will put will take the day. I start with what? Let's now go into debate. Honorable Edie. You want me to declare the results?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I have the microphone. Right Honorable Speaker, when rationalization was tabled in this parliament, there are agencies that we can touch and others not. And I'm not surprised. The Honorable Minister, Betty, is the one tabling a bill here, the one who once protested in the country to protect the forests, the one who once was nicknamed Mama Mavira. Right Honorable Speaker, in the spirit of nationalism, the government that I support, if we are talking about environment, the Honorable Minister talked about, the chairperson has talked about the government forests. Where are they? If you don't talk about NFA. Tomorrow when national roads come here, they will tell you that there are roads that belong to government and others belong to UNULA. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to state this, honorable members. We don't want to be educated on the importance of forests. The National Forest Authority, with all its mandate that was given by this honorable House, we have not been told where it has failed. Instead, I represent a constituency that has forests. But the controversies that we have in my district is a situation where the very government is issuing land titles in the forests. So now if you let these forests go in the same hands, are we going to remain with the forests really in this country? Right Honorable Speaker, in the name of protecting people's land, in the name of protecting people's forests in this country, we must not allow National Forest Authority to be rationalized. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Soroti City.
Soroti City, thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, when we allow our forest now to go to the hands of the ministry, given the current situation, it's like we are now pushing the goat, you go to where the hyena is. Madam Speaker, the people who are giving out our land in the forest are the local governments, not the NFA. Now, when you look at what is happening in Soroti, Soroti has a forest. There's a place in a 10 block. The city went and gave out that place to a number of people. It was only saved by the NFA. That means if we didn't have NFA, by now that land would not be there. I therefore say that I am here to support that the NFA remain where it is, and then we give in more support to them. Just about to, as I conclude, just about a few days ago, NFA is now giving trees to us. I've planted now 6,000 trees in my constituency. Now, government, where were you at the ministry to give us trees? You go back, we are for NFA. Thank you.
Laura. Esther. Yes.
I've lost my point.
Isaac.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to support that NFA must remain semi-autonomous. For these reasons, as I was growing up, Zombo district had a forest with natural trees, hard trees, called Lendo Forest. Today, Lendo Forest was depleted. The same road that they used to deplete these roads was never constructed until NFA came in and reforested the entire place. Right Honorable Speaker, government has not demonstrated good leadership in terms of forests, and I think they cannot be custodians of forests at this time. Thank you.
Isaac.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, I'm going to give all of you to
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for giving way. I'm in support of NFA being rationalized and taken to the ministry. Yes, we also have our reasons, we had your reasons. This is a debate. Madam Speaker, NFA was established in 2003. At that time, at least you could see Mabira was somehow there at that time. Down the line, where is Mabira now? The chair said it very clearly. They prefer working mainly at night.
Could I ask something? Was it NFA that cut Mabira down?
No, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me give him information about Mabira.
You used to work with NFA?
Yes, please.
Okay. No, you get information. Get information.
Let me give him information. Right Honorable Speaker, order please. Let me give him information about Mabira. Right Honorable Speaker, in Mabira, there are 39 villages which are called enclaves. So the time of the gazettement, let me tell you from the professional point of view. From the time of the gazettement, those enclaves have their own title, they are called Milo land. So they are not part of the forest. The way you see Rugazi Sugar Factory is not part of that.
Just hold on. Honorable Dr. Lulume, I know you're conflicted. You want that land to be degazetted so that you people take the land.
So Right Honorable Speaker, when NFA was formed and that land was left under private forest, that's what they have cut. That's why you think Mabira is not there. Mabira is there. What you are seeing is people's land where they have titles who were found there before the gazettement. So Mabira is there, I can assure you. You can even go and see there.
Thank you for information. I'm surprised you say Mabira is there. We are not talking about the Mabira we see on the road. Go a bit deeper and see if Mabira is still there. Secondly, Madam Speaker, thank you for the information.
Isaac.
Yes, Mama.
Do you pass there when you're going to northern Uganda? You come from Nebi. Do you know what is in the east?
Let me conclude, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, secondly, Madam Speaker, if I may conclude, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to talk about the NTR. We appreciate that they are raising NTR of almost 9 billion shillings. But the real sources of those NTRs should be established. Is it coming from the real forest that they're actually chopping down? The real sources have to be reestablished. And then lastly, Madam Speaker, what I do appreciate is that we need the workforce of over 400 people employed in NFA. That workforce, if they go within the ministry, they are going to be compensated for. And then secondly, some of them, of course, will be retained. Thank you.
Have you compensated the ones of Rhea?
Yeah, thank you.
Menya?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here to support that NFA must stay for the reasons that Acholi or northern region have suffered a lot with charcoal burning. Right now, we are trying to recover by planting trees.
that are being provided by NFA. And if we are to merge NFA to the main ministry, I'm afraid we may not achieve this. So I stand firm to support NFA must stay.
Isingiro, then Samuel. Alex Isingiro.
Thank you.
I'll give you to talk.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, please.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I have had an opportunity also to work with the environment sector for quite some time, and I also know very well that this rationalization has major reasons. If we find an institution that is not, it's more of a consumer than a producer, that one should certainly be thought about going away anyway. But with NFA, we do see clearly, very clearly, that they are raising a lot of NTR. What reason are you going to give this Mwananchi in Isingiro, who never saw a tree until NFA was established in Isingiro, and now we have Rugoho Central Forest Reserve, very huge forest reserve, which has been restored, improved upon, and even expanded. What will you tell those people? Number two, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the ministry has a mandate to even collect a tree fund. This tree fund has never been put into effect. And this is an area you still want to put even NFA to make it even worse. Where is the tree fund? What have you been doing with that money? Have you ever collected any as a ministry? I think it's important that we are looking for a more smaller, efficient government. And you cannot do that unless you go small way. And the small way is through NFA. My suggestion, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, that I think even here, as members of parliament, many of us have been supported from NFA with seedlings. Year after year, season after season, even during the other season, when we gave them money, every other member of parliament received some seedlings to improve. And this is an area you want to now start killing. I think for goodness sake, we should be giving NFA more autonomy, more power.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Okwir Medi. Okwir, then Medi. I'm coming. Emotion.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity.
Honorable members, this is a very controversial issue. If it means debating up to morning, we shall debate. Okwir, Mohammadi, Lee, Kao, Okwir, Mohammed, Lee, Isaac, Okiror, Masindi. Let him finish, then you people come.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, we must have trust in the system. There is a false impression being created here that there are donors and supporters who want to support activities within this government but don't want to work with the government. I think this is not true. This is not true. We can have reasons to support NFA. We can have reasons to disband NFA, but we should not discredit the system that NFA operates under. Yes. I'm making my point.
We are waiting.
The issue here, Madam Speaker, I have
forest reserves that have been managed under NFA and those under district. But I have conflicting situations, yes, where NFA went and evicted people very late in the night, people who have stayed there for over 40 years, they've buried people there. Yes.
They must leave.
Look here.
Honorable Query. Honorable Query. Samuel.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Samuel, when you're talking about such a serious matter of eviction, we need evidence. That's one. Two, during the war time in northern Uganda, not only in Acholi, but also in Lango, not only in Lango, but also in Acholi, even Teso, when people went back, they went and took over the land belonging to NFA. You are actually the encroachers to NFA. And he knows it.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to exchange with you, but my submission is that these are people who had lived there for over 40 years. They've buried their ancestors there. And then NFA wakes up one morning and tells them you have to live here. Where do they go?
Honorable Dur, Honorable Queen, when you get somebody in your property, don't you evict that person? Why were you talking about eviction of the buses yesterday? You need, that land belongs to a body. Yes, Mehdi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I raise to support the position of the committee in the retention of the autonomy of the National Forest Authority. Honorable members, the rationale for rationalization was to create efficiency. The minister, I heard you very well. There is nowhere you promised this House that by mainstreaming the Forestry Authority into your ministry, it will become more efficient than it is today. But let me address only one issue of collection of NTR through the climate change program of what we all know that is called carbon credit. If well empowered, the NFA is a source of greater revenue and efficiency to this country. And you look for numbers, because I can give you one example and you must explain, Right Honorable Minister, how far have you gone? And I would like to also call upon the Attorney General, with the proposal that you have in your ministry and with the Office of the Attorney General, to hand over 25% of forest cover of Uganda to Shell in lieu for carbon credit. What I'm talking about, you might come back here and you'll see it. I challenge you. That's why I'm posing questions today. Because there is an issue of trade in carbon and who issues the permit. You'll come back and respond. We, through National Forest Authority, from our portfolio in Africa, I know we can harness over $500 million, which the ministry cannot do. So our role should be to empower this authority to keep the forest cover, to promote plantation of trees and forestry, so that in future we can even earn more. Honorable members, we are not saying no to your making lean of government. If you think you have better qualified people who can help us get more, please get them to NFA and you make it function better. If you think there are very many people, streamline it and streamline the number, but do not destroy the authority, for you will not leave its functions performing to expectation. Finally, please, I take it.
Right Honorable Chairperson, Speaker. NFA is the custodian of REDD+, what we call reduction of emissions from degradation of forest resources. Under the United Nations Framework Convention, which NFA is leading also the monitoring and verification and reporting of carbon emissions. The only defense we have as Uganda to safeguard the extraction of fossil fuels globally, because it has been projected that the extraction of fossil fuels under the East African crude oil pipeline, the Kabale airport, and also the oil refinery yet to start are going to emit over 1 million tons of carbon. And wherever we attend international meetings, we confirm to them that the forest cover, with our affirmative action of the National Forest Authority, we are ensuring that forest acreages are going to be maintained. So in order to safeguard our oil extraction and the energy prospects, we are confirming that forest cover under the management of NFA is going to absorb all the carbon. So in case we remove NFA, our defense for our fossil oil extraction is dead. So we are saying that affirmatively, with the hit you received last periods, we can only defend ourselves by maintaining National Forest Authority.
Thank you very much for that wonderful information. I think Honorable Beatrice Anywa, Mama Mabira, formerly no, still Mama Mabira, I would like you to reflect in your heart and go into your sentiments and know what Ugandans know you for, as that lady that put her life and line on the forefront. And I'm appealing to your personal sentiment to understand that we've come from far through challenges, and you cannot hand over meat to a lion and expect to find it in the morning.
Madam Speaker, I'm here to support the committee position that we should not rationalize and dissolve NFA. For the information of members, the President signed a declaration in Glasgow to end deforestation by 2030, and the committee has shown us that we are steadily recovering forest cover from the activities of NFA. What we need to implore the ministry to do is to monetize that. For example, they have shown us there has been forest cover increasing. Under the climate funding, you can actually monetize that through what Honorable Nsereko talked about, carbon trading. Without even delivering on that, you are moving to claim for more responsibilities. Why don't you run and do what the law currently gives you mandate to do? Two, the minister said that they cannot adequately or quickly report to Parliament. Minister, Section 79 of the current law provides for annual reports under which you are supposed to report to this House. Are you doing that? Thirdly, the ministry, as far as I know, does not have capacity to manage land census. NFA at the moment is generating non-tax revenue through land censusing activities. There are people who have been blaming NFA for evictions. I want to inform those colleagues that under Section 15 of the current law, you cannot enter into a forest reserve to do activities without a permit. So the people must be advised to get a license from NFA, only then shall they be able to execute their activities. I need to pick information from Rose.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Oguzu, for giving chance. Right Honorable Speaker, from global warming, we are now going to global boiling. The recent statistics showed that we went up to 40 degrees Celsius. Now, if we remove NFA, we are going to destroy this country permanently. Right Honorable Speaker, even if we wanted to create another authority, maybe UFA, all authorities, all entities that are going to plant trees and increase on plant cover must be protected. Without trees, we are dead. And currently, the president is for planting more trees. We are here to protect our environment. Therefore, I want to say that NFA is here to stay, and let's support it. Thank you so much, my brother.
Madam Speaker, to conclude, there is a honorable colleague who has seen sense in what we are talking, and he needs to come and confess here. So I thought I should give him opportunity.
Thank you very much, my brother Onguzili, for giving me leeway. Right Honorable Speaker, as we are fighting to see that NFA is not rationalized, the problem we have is with the government officials, especially the big people, who always come and take away that land by force. And I think that's why you want to rationalize it, so that you can take that land freely, as you have been doing previously. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
So as I wind up, I want to invite all colleagues. I want to invite all colleagues that we retain NFA, because nobody will be able to insulate himself from the environmental problems we suffer when NFA is gone.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Cow.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Cow.
Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to say that NFA must not be mainstreamed. They have not told us the reasons at any level why it has failed. Maybe the same reasons would have touched on UWA or NEMA. But I want to say here with authority, with due respect, yes, I've worked around the country. NFA has got infrastructure, he has institutions, locally and internationally connected. The problem affecting the whole world right now is climate change. And the question universal all over the world is how to remove carbon from the environment. There is no way it can work through institutions that government has so far suffocated. For example, there is no reason whatsoever that government can come up and say why NFA should be mainstreamed, where it failed, where it has failed. Indeed, in fact, East African region has been coming to Uganda to benchmark on how to create their own forest authorities. And wherever we go, we have been quoted as the best in the region. So I find it difficult. Even as I talk right now, the neighboring countries come around, even the Mount Elgon area. So, information given.
Information. Thank you so much, Honorable, to have given away. Honorable Speaker, the information I'm giving, in fact, NFA should have been even considered for more appropriations than it has been before. Why all of us are in for NFA? Honorable Speaker, we have even dedicated ourselves. The people you see here, majority of us are members in NFA. And the little forest cover that we have in our districts have been saved by NFA. All of us are down to earth. At least we are planting a seedling. And we have gone ahead by mobilizing our people, even to go agronomic, to practice agronomy by planting some trees. So to say that you mainstream NFA, you would have just killed this country, Honorable Speaker.
Did you mean agroforestry? That one. Yeah.
You have information. We are dealing with Carboni Bank. Carboni Bank, when you come to Elgon zone, Masindi zone, we talk of Carboni Bank. And the colleagues, please, Carboni Bank is one of the projects with NFA. I think it will be not rational to mainstream National Forest Authority. It should stay.
Thank you. Honorable Goli, Dr. Kefa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I was very impressed with the report of the committee. The committee highlighted critical issues of how important forest will be under the management of NFA. a key element I was impressed with is the business opportunity which is available under the sale of carbon credit. That is amazing, and it gives us an opportunity to change this country. The other, which is so key, is that we sometimes do not quickly calculate how important the environment is. But let us calculate it when we see challenges which the environment cause when there's a challenge. For example, Right Honourable Speaker, in Dokolo today, we have floods which have affected us, and over 15,000 people have been affected. They have nowhere to go, and they are suffering. That's why I propose that we strengthen NFA so that the issues which would allow issues like floods not coming into our country would be managed. I support the issue of staying NFA and strengthen NFA. Thank you.
Dancing Queen.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I stand here to support the motion that we should not mainstream NFA, which has not been presented yet. And I'm here representing Bunyoro region. Bunyoro as the custodian of oil and gas, where we are going to be affected. Bunyoro as a custodian of Budongo forest. Bugoma forest was destroyed, and up to now we shed tears. But NFA is trying all it can to restore the lost glory of Bunyoro. And therefore, I cannot miss this debate by supporting NFA, by not supporting NFA to remain as it is, to do its work, and bring back the glory of Bunyoro as it used to be, to bring back Bugoma, to bring back Budongo, and also help us not suffer the effect of oil and gas as the Bunyoro region. I submit.
Maureen, Stephen.
Thank you, Right.
Chairman.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to support that NFA must stay. In Arua City, I do have Barifa Forest. If it wasn't for NFA, I think Barifa Forest would have gone. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, NFA started in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, and it has just planted trees, which is yet to yield. I understand the gestation period of a tree is about 20 years. And now it depends, yes, the variety of the tree you're planting. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, this tree is about to yield. And once it yields, that means we are going to have a lot of money, revenues from this NFA. Now, when we come up with mainstreaming NFA into the ministries, already look at APA, where we're having a lot of problems. What's actually happening at APA there is political. And now the NFA has even been...
Is that the Zoka Forest?
Sorry, yes.
Zoka Forest.
Zoka Forest, yes. NFA has been overpowered, actually, by the alleged saying some people in the government who are trying to frustrate who are trying to put a lot of stress on the people of APA in the Zoka Forest. And now, Right Honourable Speaker, because of those political, they so alleged big people whom we do not know, it is the reason as to why APA is having a lot of issues there.
Thank you.
Now, Right Honourable Speaker, for me, I want reforestation from NFA, and we must strengthen it. Without NFA, Uganda is nowhere. Look at our neighbor, Arusha. Look at Rwanda. We're always happy because they are green. Where are we going as a country? We must impress and we must leave it the way it is.
Thank you. Dr. Kefa. Dr. Kefa first.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for many years I chaired the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources. and I've had the strong association with the National Forest Authority. I understand the challenges that they are going through. The first thing that surprises me is that there is no consultancy report to justify such something very controversial. Like, for instance, what is it that the National Forest Authority has failed in order to be mainstreamed? And by the way, we mainstream when the importance of something has ceased, and you want to bring it into the mainstream so that it can go with everything else. At the moment, we have pressures around climate change and the global trend, and that's why I wonder whether there is any justification from international benchmarks. The global trend is to strengthen such institutions in order to counter the pressures of environmental change, climate change. The other issue is that ministries normally concentrate on creating enabling environment, concentrate on the law, the policies, and things like that, reducing the degradation which is leading to deforestation, so that it can enable the National Forest Authority to manage. But here, you are talking about taking about the services that are being delivered by National Forest Authority into something which should be concentrating on creating environment, an enabling environment. I therefore, Madam Speaker, strongly object to what is being proposed in the bill and strongly support the committee report. Thank you very much.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. This morning, early afternoon, when the chairman brought the UNIMA, he was standing on a terrible pain. But today, I am really trying to support this. You know, National Forest Authority works in synergy with the Uganda Wildlife Authority. In synergy. If we give an example of Dongo Forest, when you enter Kichumba Nyobo, when you are going to Makshon Falls, the only reserved Budongo Forest is within the national park, because of the working together with the Uganda Wildlife Authority. This morning, we have just empowered Uganda Wildlife Authority by adding Uganda Wildlife Education Center into it. It was like a takeover instead of a merger. So for National Forest Authority to be denied or to be scrapped instead of empowering it, it would be wrong for us. What I suppose and believe is that National Forest Authority, you want information?
Thank you, Honorable.
I can take it.
Thank you, Honorable, for giving way. Right Honorable Speaker, we in the animal kingdom, we don't trust the ministry. These forests, they house baboons, chimpanzees, mountain gorillas, which fetch a lot of money for this country in terms of tourism. Before 2004, when the Forest Authority had not come into play, forests were destroyed in this country. The information I'm giving, that apart from representing the people of Chimanyaka, I represent the animal kingdom, and our trust is in the Forest Authority. The Forest Authority should stay.
Thank you for the information, and I would like to conclude that
thank you, Catherine.
We continue with having the authority.
Thank you, Catherine. Let me have Catherine, then I have you,
Yeah.
Chairman.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me also to thank the committee for the wise recommendations. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to join my colleagues to support that NSFA should be maintained as it has been. Right Honourable Speaker, aware that a big number of our population is still using firewood. And NSFA had come to to revamp the situation. Right Honourable Speaker, the reason why I support that it should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Okiror, then Chivumbi.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to sincerely thank you for this opportunity. I come from a semi-arid area, and when issues to do with the environment, particularly forest cover, being discussed, Right Honourable Speaker, I nearly become a bit emotional. We've grown.
No, but you can do
appreciating.
it. You don't have to become a bit.
Absolutely, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, when the framers of the 1995 Constitution put in place a law under the objectives, particular objective number 13, the state set out with a duty to protect important natural resources, including land, water, wetlands, minerals, oil, fauna, and flora on behalf of the people of Uganda. When we set this objective down, we domesticated enforcement mechanisms through legislation that is under the NFA. I think we were in the correct mindset to do that duty, that we want to protect our forest cover. We put in place the law. Many speakers have presented here that nothing has been given as a justification as to why we need to retransfer that duty back. I hasten to add, your Right Honourable Speaker, that with this protection which has been given and the enforcement which has been given by the law, I'm really in support of the committee report that we should be able to maintain NFA. Absolutely. The forest cover over a period of time has been reducing. But I want to tell you, Right Honourable Speaker, right now, just the mention of the name NFA anywhere makes somebody terrified that there is need to protect something. Is that cutting across? But for us to withdraw, I don't know, we are going to send people into celebration that NFA final has been closed. It is going to be terrible. So I want to just give information to Odu, and that's all, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker, in the morning, I had thought that we should interrogate the four terminologies being used by the government, and I want to demonstrate on this one. They are saying they want to mainstream. Literally, mainstreaming means that there is a mainstream somewhere. So it ordinarily means there is a bigger entity in Uganda that has been overseeing the issue of forestry in Uganda, which does not exist. That is when the small stream now feeds into the mainstream. Now, in this case, NFA is the bigger stream. In any case, the ministry should have been rationalized into the what? That's the information I wanted to give you.
Right Honourable, I want to thank Jonathan for that information. That's very vital information. But finally, Right Honourable Speaker, honourable colleagues in this House, Uganda is a very beautiful country. And if there are things that we stamp our feet as a legislature of our time, is to see to it that the valuable resources that we have, like forests and land, we cannot wish it away, and let's stand together to see that we can protect that for the benefit of the people to come beyond us. Most obliged, Honourable Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. Right Honourable Speaker, I can see even the mood in the House. But Right Honourable Speaker, let me speak as an MP that represents an area that for long has had adequate national forest cover. And I've been here for about 12 years. And when I became an MP, my area had almost natural forests across. And it's not the first time that I'm standing on this floor to express my displeasure with an institution called NFA. At one time, I called it a terrorist organization in terms of environmental degradation. Right Honourable Speaker, NFA in my area, I'll speak for it, has been at the forefront of allocating standing national forest to private tree planters. I have every evidence to speak to that. And I speak now, when an NFA...
Order.
Madam Speaker, under the current law, Section 41 and 42 of the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act 2003, NFA is empowered to license activities in forest reserves. So is it in order for the honorable member to impute that a license actually confers ownership of land in a forest reserve when actually not? Two, has the honorable member taken note of the fact that the Ministry of Lands has been implicated in issuing of titles, illegal titles in forest reserves, which is not mandate of NFA? He may be misleading the public, and that must be, is in order. That record must be set properly.
Honorable members, let's get Honorable Chivombi, then we get Laibi.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Then Honorable Kavanda.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for your protection. Right Honorable Speaker, in life there are moments of truth. And for me, this is a moment of truth. I've had meetings with my sister, even in your office, mother-in-law. And I've had a disagreement with my shadow minister, publicly and on various fora. My concern has been that the National Forest Authority has not lived up to its mandate. When they formed it, the national forest cover was around 30-something. As we speak now, on its watch, and it was given everything. It was given police, given military, given everything to protect our forest. This is an institution that I even contemplated at one time taking to the courts of law for failure to meet its mandate. It has fallen flat out. And I know that National Forest Authority in this Uganda has been channeling out large portions of land to very influential people to destroy forests, and they could be the one that are protecting it. This is an institution that should...
Information.
No, information, hold on to.
I've given it to him.
You have given.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the information I want to give to Honourable Chivombi is that I don't know whether where he comes from is not part of Uganda, that is Butambala, but in Busoga where I come from, actually NFA has done a good job in, first of all, restoring land that had been encroached. Secondly, giving private licenses to people to plant trees. So if you come here and say that NFA is actually doing the other way, to the contrary, I don't agree with you. But most importantly...
Thank you for that information. Let me give you a fact, my brother. Let me give you a fact, my brother. Let me give you first. I come from an area which has a long forest cover, not only in my constituency, that cuts across in PG, Maokota, goes to Masaka, goes all the way to Suju. That forest cover was under NFA, and on the watch of NFA, for where there was a standing forest, NFA gave to private tree planter, destroyed the forest with excavators. Removing pillars. And this is an institution we should have done away with yesterday. Should have done away with.
Yes? Clarification.
Yes.
Right Honourable Speaker, we are taking a very important decision for the nation. I want to request Honourable Chivombi to lay on table figures. When you talk about forest cover,
in 2004, what was it? What is it today? So that we will take a decision. Because it is important, Right Honorable Speaker, to substantiate the figures, the information. And we should not look at, I want also to hear from Honorable Chivumbi. Are you giving figures from your district only, or are you giving a national figures? Because we want to look at them so that we can take a decision.
Honorable members, you've all talked, but there is only one person who will hear.
Hujambo mtazamaji wa UBC TV. Ifuatayo ni taarifa ya habari na tunakutangazia kutoka mjini Kampala. Naitwa Bella Masangano na tunaomba